So, okay. So, it's me, Brianca Jay. I know I've been a little bit missing in action, but it's not that I didn't want to be here. It's just that I was fatigued. But I have been reading, and it's so much I want to share. So many books that I have adored. Seriously, I've read so many books and I have so many reviews to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into, I'm going to go in chronological order. So I'm going to start talking, this video is going to be about A Burning, which is what I was reading before I kind of disappeared on you guys. But it's so good. It was really good. It was interesting. I chose to read A Burning because I wanted to read about a different culture. I wanted to have an experience of being somewhere else, especially with the borders closed and unable to use my passport. I really just wanted to have this this experience to travel. So I picked A Burning simply because it was set in India. Simply for that reason. I wanted to see what that was like. I wanted to kind of get pulled into that country and not so much here in America. So I tried not to read any like American set books for the last 3 books I read. But in any rate, what I liked the best about the book is that I really didn't know how things were gonna go for the protagonist until close to the end. And even though it was a young adult book, I wasn't able to predict. Sometimes I feel like young adult books are too predictable for me because I read such heavy works sometimes. I read so many classics. But this really had me, the thing that really kept me reading was trying to figure out who was responsible for the bombing of the train, and then what was the solution for our protagonist. And so that's what really kept me reading, because I was very unpredictable, and it kept me peaked until the end. What I didn't like about this book is what I typically don't like about any young adult book. It's just so simplistic. I don't get to highlight. I don't get to get these really in-depth thoughts. I don't get to get these really thought-provoking quotes. It's just like fact, plot, character, but no like deep moving insights. So that's what I don't like about it. But that is not atypical for the kind of book I was reading. So it's like, you know, nothing I can say about that. What this book reminded me of, I can't really say. It's more of a, it is a murder, it's kind of like a mystery, kind of like a suspense situation. So if you like to kind of figure things out and puzzle with things, I think you would enjoy this book. But I can't really give you anything that it reminded me of. Actually, I just, not at the moment. It eludes me. The characters in the book I enjoyed. I really enjoyed Lovey, the transsexual actress who was able to kind of realize her dreams. I just thought she had a very interesting story, more interesting than some of the others, but I thought hers were just really moving. Like, oh, like this kind of rags to riches, pull myself from the bottom, but not without my own guilt and my own sins in the process. But I thought she was very interesting as a character. Which character did I like least? I don't know why I can't remember my characters' names. Let me go pull them up. Okay, yeah, Pit Sear. His name was Pit Sear. I didn't like him. I enjoyed his story, and I even understood his inclinations and why he did what he did. But overall, he wasn't just like a likable character, because he just did so many kind of despicable things in quest for his own ambitions, which is probably what the book is about. Like, what will we do in order to succeed in our ambitions? But nevertheless, I just wasn't a fan of Fitzseer at all. He just really just wasn't. He kind of gave me, though it wasn't really an antagonist in this book, because the antagonist is more like the government or society or the way of things. But if there was an antagonist, then I'd pick him. He would be the villain. I know I typically answer the question of like who I would cast if I was making this a book, but I would cast people from the culture, and since I'm not very familiar with those types of actresses, I'm gonna have to pass on the question because I don't know. But I know that's very important right now. Representation is very important, so I can't even answer it because I don't know enough enough actors who have the same ethnicity and nationality as the characters and could give the conversation like its true meaning. So I can't answer that one yet. This is the first book I ever wrote by this author, but I really think it was good. I would totally read another book by her if the timing was right. Like, if I'm not gonna say it was like my 10 book. It wasn't my 10 book. It was a fun, like, light read. Something I would read on vacation. Something I would read on a plane. But I can't tell you like, oh my God, like if this person put out another book, I'm running to the bookstore. Because I just didn't, I wasn't moved like that. Like, I liked it, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't moved to the point of like, let me go stand the author, let me go write a dissertation, let me run and do a YouTube. Like, I just didn't connect like that. What really kept me reading was the fact that I wanted to know what happened. I was engulfed in the plot more than I was ever engulfed in the characters. I really just wanted to know what happened. Like, what is going to happen to Javon? Like, I wanted to know. If I had a chance to ask the author something, I would probably ask if she could redo the ending. If she had a second shot at the ending, what would she do with it? Specifically with Javon, because she was like, in the end, she ended up with a bad rap. And I just thought it was really unfair. So I was thinking, like, if she could have a choice to change the ending, what would she change it to? And if she wouldn't change it, what does she think that ending does? Like, what was her major message that she was trying to convey? Maybe my question for that one. If I was like, so this question here is asking me about like the characters, how they would have felt to be depicted that way. I could see people feeling really uncomfortable because they are really put on display for their ambitions and how our ambitions can corrupt us, how our desires to be successful can really corrupt us. And so I could see certain people feeling really offended by this depiction of themselves because no one wants to really see themselves as like wholly selfish. But when we look at these characters in our minds, many of them are wholly selfish, completely self-indulging. And so I think that people who thought that they related to the characters could also find themselves very offended by how they were depicted. But I don't think it's because of anything the author does. I think that anytime you put humans on display showing the characteristics of humans, they get upset. If you're not showing someone as this selfless Mother Teresa all caring person, they find themselves a little bit peeved. But that doesn't make the truth less of the truth. So I mean, yeah, people probably wouldn't like to be depicted how they were depicted in this novel, but overall, like, I do believe that is how humans work. And not only in India, I think that's how humans work all over the world. So damn if they do get offended, who cares, you know? If someone wrote about me and depicted me that way, I guess I would just be like, oh, that's how you see me, that's really interesting. And then I would just have to be like, I know the truth, as we should do in all instances, I think, because you can't really control how people look at you. Yeah, so that's pretty much my review of A Burning. If I had to rate it, I would give it like 3 stars. Three stars. Plot is good. Characters were good. Prose was so-so. But overall, like, it was a good read. It was a quick read. It wasn't too complicated. It was young adult, so you know, you guys know I'm a literary fiction lover, so I could see how I could have not enjoyed it as much as some others. But overall, it's still a nice read. It's a fun thing to go ahead and look at. So if you have time, yeah, go read A Burning and let me know what you think. Yeah, that's all I really got for this one. I'll catch me on the next video. I'm going to be talking about 50 Shades of Rain, and I'll be telling you my personal review and what I think about that novel.